Welcome to Genius Dreams Education channel. Today we are going to continue our lesson on Photoshop as we are still learning the tips to be used in Photoshop in order to start our professional designing. So first of all, we are going to look at how we can provide a styling property or we can style this text in different ways as I did in my previous lesson or video to get this text effect. And you can check it out if you not watch it by searching for how to provide text effect using Photoshop in my Photoshop playlist. So before we will start today's lesson, please subscribe to my channel to get weekly videos on Photoshop and website development. So now I'm going to start with the styling of the first one, which is the hello. So I'll come here and select the layer, and today we are going to, after selecting the layer, you click on the FS, go to drop shadow, drop shadow. So we are going to get this pop up and we are going to see how we can use all this pop up efficiently. So we are going to apply each of them to each of the words here to see its effect. So the first styling or the blending option you are going to search is the bevel. Let me disconnect. We are going to first of all use the bevel embossment. So the bevel and the embossment, then you will select it or you double click on it to get this pop-up menu. So when we get this pop-up menu, the highlight mode, let me click on the highlight mode and I'm going to select a color for it. So I'm going to use this color, then I'll click on OK. Then for the shadow mode, I'm going to select a color too for that one too. I'm going to use this color, I'll then click on OK. So I'm going to increase all the opacity to 100%, 100%. So let me leave the highlight mode at 50% opacity. And this is the blending option you can choose. So I want to get a highlight for that part. And this one to the blending option I want to use is luminous. So I want to use all of them. The luminosity blending option. No, for the luminosity, it's not all that. Let me check the hardness. This one too is not all that. Then let me come here and check the darker color too. So I'm going to use that one. As you can see, this text is now different from this one. So we will come here and adjust the depth to. So as we be adjusting the depth, you can see our text is now changing. So I'm going to set it the depth to 100% to get a more viewable text. Then let me come to the size too. So you can see as you are increasing the size how the text look like. So when we start increasing it, you can see the shadow distance increases and that's its color there, and the highlight moves to that's the color there. So you can increase it or adjust it to how you want it to be. So I want to use this form, then I'll leave it. If you want this one to, then you adjust it to the size you want. So I'm going to use this one, and the softness to, I'll work on it smoothly. And now you can see our text how it looks like as compared to the previous one. So this is how we can use the bevel and the embossment text of this part. So I'm going to click on OK and then go to the next text and provide a different one too for it. So I'll do same, and that one I'm going to work on the contour. And you see at the moment I click on it, you see the effect. So I'm going to click on that one too, and So here is how the contour works. So when I select this one, you see how the color mixes. If I choose this one, you see how the color mixes. So based on what I'll choose, I'm going to get the color for that. And I can change my color to any color I want to. So that is the contour part, and you can click on it to adjust it to anyhow you want it to be. This is its range. And so that's how the contour tool works. So the next thing is for us to go in for the next feature, and this bevel embossment comes with this contour and the texture. So the texture too, when I select it, you will see how it also works. That is the effect. So these two, they are under this bevel. That's why they are using the same color in the effect. So you can adjust the depth, and as you are adjusting it, you can see the color, how the white and the light green color, how they mix it. You can adjust your scale too. So you can adjust the depth to choose the preferred one you want. If you want to use this one, then you leave it. Then I'll click on OK. So you can see this and this, they are different because I added the contour to this one and the texture to this one, but not this. So the next thing is I'm going to select this text and give it styling. So I'll go to the FS, then click on it, then the drop shadow, the pop-up menu will come. So I'm going to choose the stroke part. So I'm going to add, let me change the color of this one. So I'm going to use red color here. Then let me click on OK. So for this one, now let me set the opacity to 100 so that it will be more visible for you to see. So when you start increasing the size, you see the effects you are getting. That's how to use the stroke and position. To when you position it outside, this is how it's going to look like. So we also have some blending options that you can choose from. When I choose this one, this is how it's going to look like. That's the darker size. If I choose linear dodge 2, this is the color I'm going to get for the stroke aspect. So you can choose the blending option you want. If you want the divide, you choose it. If you want saturation, then you choose it. So for now, I'm going to use overlay to choose it. You see it effect. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use the hard light for it for now. So when I'm done, then I'll click on OK. So I'm then going to use the other property for the next test. I'll select it, then click on the FS, come to the pop-up, and then choose. So the next thing is the inner shadow. So for the inner shadow too, I'm going to choose a color for that one too. And I'm going to use this color, the yellow color for that part. So I'm going to increase the opacity to 100%, and then let me increase the distance small. Let me adjust the choke to, then let me work on the size small. Let me add some noise to it. So after that, let me decrease it. Let me decrease the distance too small. So now you can see the color or the text effect we've been able to provide on our channel by adjusting these properties to get our preferred color we want. That is the inner shadow, how the inner shadow tool works. So we then click on OK and then going for the next text. Then I'll click on the FS. The pop-up will then come. So the next one is the inner glow. So let's look at how the inner glow tool works. So I'm going to choose another color tool for that one. So this is the range you can set it to. So let me come here and increase the opacity to 100% as usual. Then let me give it some small noise. So the next one is the subscribe button, and I'm going to select that layer too and add another effect to that one. So I'll do same, then come here and click on the inner glow. So I'm going to change the color here to this green color. Then I'll click on OK. So when I'm done, I'm going to add some noise to it. Then I'm going to increase the opacity. Then I'm going to set the blending mode to hard light. So now you can see the effect on it. So let me just increase or adjust the size so that you can see how the inner glow tool works. So let me leave it somewhere here and let me work on the choke small. Okay. So I can then choose the contour tool part for it, how I want it to be. So if I want it in this way, then I'll leave it on this one. If I want this, I'll leave it there. If I want it, I'll set it to this one. So I think this one is more clear and visible as compared to the rest. So I'll set it to this one and decrease the noise to get a smooth one as compared to the first one. So this one is okay now. Then I'll click on OK. So I'll then go to the next one and select it. Do same, go to FS, drop shadow. Then the pop-up will come. Then the next thing is the starting. So I'll select on that. I'll select that one. Change the color to, let me use the blue color for now because I've not used it. Then let me work on the distance. Leave it in this way. That's the size and this is the distance. Then I'm going to increase the opacity to 100%. I'm going to set my blending mode to hard light. Then I'm going to choose the contour tool to give it mounting how I want it to be done. So you can see this one gives a correct or a nice one as compared to the first one or this and this. This one, the styling you choose, you get a contour tool for it. So this one is okay now. So I'm going to click on OK for this part. Then I'll go on to the next test and do same for that one too. So the next is the cover overlay. Then I'm going to select a color tool for that one. And I'm going to use this color. I'll click on OK. Then for the cover overlay, I'm just going to decrease the opacity some. Then let me choose a blending mode. So for the blending mode, let me see the light color. Let me see the multiply too. So I'm going to use the multiply blending mode for the color overlay. So I'm then going to click on OK. Then I'll move on to the next test. Then I'll do same too for it. So that's the gradient overlay. So I'm then going to choose a gradient. So I want to use this gradient, then I'll click on OK. So then I'll come here and scale it. So this is the angle. I can set it to any, you can set it to 45 or whatever you want. But I'm going to keep mine at 90 degrees. And the styling too, I will use the linear one. So if you want to reverse the color too, then you click on it, you get the reverse part. So when you click on it, you see the effect. This is an overlay that is made up of two colors. So this one is a light one and this one is the deep part. So when you reverse on it, you reverse, it changes, the deep comes down and the light comes up. Or in the other way, the light will comes down and the deep. So the next thing is I'm going to adjust the opacity to small to see how the colors I'll get and choose my preferred one. So I'll leave it here. And then, so for now, let me scale it more to see the other effects I can get. So I'm going to choose the blending mode of hard light. Let me check the hard light to see. So this is for the hard light. So this one and the cover overlay, they seem to be working in hand. Let me check the color dodge. So I'm going to use the linear light for this part too. Then I'll click on OK. So the next thing is the next one is our last test. So we are going to do same for that one too. We add drop shadow. Then we are going to set it, use the outer glow. So I'm going to change my color to this color. Then I'll click on OK. So when I'm done, I'm going to increase the opacity to 100 and change my blending mode to hard light. So after that, let me increase the size. Let me increase the size more. Then work on the spread more. And then let me choose my contour. So I think this one is okay as compared to the previous ones. So I'll then click on, let me add some small noise to it. So we've adjust or so now this is okay for now as compared to the previous one. Then you click on OK. So now you can see you've been able to provide the styling properties for this text too using the FS or the add using the FS, that is the blending option or add layer style. So that is the end of this lesson. Please subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. Like, share, and leave your comment to get weekly videos on Photoshop and web design. Thank you. Goodbye.